When we talk about men's health, we often focus on the surface: strength, stamina, appearance. But real vitality, real performance, begins deep inside your blood vessels. Because it's not just about one organ working harder, it's about the entire body working smarter. And there's one nutrient that plays a surprising, even life changing role in this process. Imagine your blood vessels as highways delivering oxygen and nutrients everywhere, to your heart, your brain, and yes, your most intimate areas. When these pathways are open and flexible, blood flows freely. But when they become stiff or inflamed, performance drops, physically, mentally, and sexually. The key is keeping these highways clear and responsive. There's a particular vitamin that does this brilliantly: vitamin D. It's often called the sunshine vitamin, but its power goes far beyond mood and bones. Vitamin D acts like a master switch in your body. It boosts nitric oxide, a natural molecule your body produces that helps blood vessels relax and widen. That means better blood flow, stronger circulation, and for men, harder, more reliable erections. Research shows that men with low levels of vitamin D are significantly more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction. Why? Because without enough of this nutrient, your blood vessels can't fully open. The smooth muscles inside the penis depend on nitric oxide to trigger an erection, and vitamin D is one of the silent controllers of that process. When it's missing, even the best signals from your brain can't reach their target effectively. But here's what's fascinating. When vitamin D levels rise, a blood flow improves almost instantly. It's like turning on a switch that had been dimmed for too long. Men often report feeling more energy, more drive, and more confidence, not just in the bedroom, but in life, because improved circulation benefits every cell, every tissue, every organ. The modern world, however, keeps most of us indoors, behind screens and walls. We've forgotten what sunlight feels like on our skin. That's why vitamin D deficiency is now widespread, and why so many men unknowingly struggle with poor vascular health. Yet the solution is simple. Step outside. Let sunlight hit your skin for 15 to 20 minutes a day. Include vitamin D-rich foods in your diet: salmon, tuna, eggs, and fortified milk. And if you live in colder regions or spend most of your day indoors, consider a safe vitamin D3 supplement, but always after checking your levels through a simple blood test. What's remarkable is how fast your body responds when you restore what it's missing. Within days or weeks, nitric oxide levels rise, blood vessels soften, and blood flow improves. You start to feel alive again because your body is rediscovering its natural rhythm. This isn't a drug, it's biology, your own system reawakening. And that's the truth about performance and vitality. It's not magic, it's not a pill. It's your body doing what it was always designed to do, once you give it the right tools. And sometimes that one missing tool is as simple and as powerful as vitamin D. Every man, at some point in his life, begins to notice subtle changes in his energy, his focus, and his performance. These changes are not random. They are signals, messages from the body asking for attention. The body has a language of its own. It speaks through blood flow, through muscle strength, through stamina, and through desire. And the truth is, when circulation slows down, everything slows down. The brain becomes foggy, the heart feels heavy, and the body loses that powerful charge that once felt effortless. But science now shows us something extraordinary: that one single nutrient, one simple vitamin, can reignite that lost spark and restore natural vitality almost instantly. When we look closely at how the body creates and sustains an erection, it's not just a mechanical reaction, it's chemistry, biology, and vascular precision working together in perfect harmony. The heart pumps oxygen-rich blood, the arteries deliver it swiftly, and the smooth muscles inside the penis relax and expand to receive it. That expansion, that rush of blood, is controlled by nitric oxide, a tiny but mighty molecule that acts as a signal to tell the body it's time to perform. Without nitric oxide, that signal fades. The vessels remain tight, the flow remains restricted, and performance declines. Here's where vitamin D enters this picture as a game changer. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it behaves like a hormone, influencing more than 200 different genes in the human body. It has receptors in almost every cell, including those lining your blood vessels. When vitamin D levels are optimal, the inner lining of the arteries, called the endothelium, stays healthy, elastic, and smooth. But when vitamin D levels drop, that lining begins to suffer from inflammation and stiffness. Blood flow becomes sluggish, and the body's ability to release nitric oxide weakens. Imagine a beautiful river that once flowed freely but has now become narrow and clogged. That's what happens inside your blood vessels when vitamin D is missing. The pressure builds up, the walls become rough, and the current loses its force. Now, when your brain sends a message of arousal, your body struggles to deliver the physical response. Not because of age, and not because of fate, but because the natural system that supports blood flow has lost its flexibility. In a landmark study, scientists discovered that men with low vitamin D levels were nearly one-third more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction compared to men with healthy levels. The connection was clear. Vitamin D plays a direct role in maintaining the integrity and responsiveness of blood vessels. What's more, increasing vitamin D levels showed measurable improvements in blood flow and vascular performance in as little as 2 weeks. The effect is not psychological, it's biological. But what's fascinating is how this one vitamin orchestrates a cascade of benefits beyond blood flow. When vitamin D enters the bloodstream, it supports testosterone production, enhances mood through serotonin regulation, and reduces inflammation throughout the body. Testosterone, of course, is critical for libido and performance, but it also supports muscle tone, energy, and confidence. So when vitamin D rises, testosterone often follows. And with it, a man's sense of vitality. For generations, men have been told that aging inevitably brings decline, that it's normal to lose strength, stamina, and sexual drive. But modern research is challenging that myth. The decline is not inevitable, it's often preventable. The culprit isn't time, it's deficiency. Low vitamin D silently chips away at the body's ability to function optimally. It weakens bones, dulls the mind, and restricts circulation. Yet restoring this one nutrient can reverse so many of those symptoms that we've come to accept as getting older. But let's take a closer look at what happens when you restore vitamin D levels. Within the first week of consistent exposure to sunlight or supplementation, the body begins to regulate calcium and phosphorus balance more efficiently, essential for muscle contraction and nerve signaling. These are the very signals that control arousal and response. As nitric oxide production rises, the arteries begin to relax more easily. That relaxation is what allows blood to surge into the tissues and stay there. The firmness that follows isn't artificial. It's a reflection of healthy vascular function. Within 2 to 3 weeks, energy levels begin to climb. The mitochondria, those tiny power plants inside your cells, use vitamin D to improve energy metabolism. You start waking up with more drive, not just sexually, but mentally. The fog begins to lift and motivation returns. Mood improves because vitamin D helps regulate dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters that govern pleasure, focus, and satisfaction. Men often describe this phase as feeling lighter, more alive, more connected to their own bodies. And then something remarkable happens around the 1-month mark. Blood pressure starts to stabilize, circulation improves, and inflammation markers in the blood begin to drop. That means not only stronger erections, but also better cardiovascular health overall. Because the truth is, erectile function is one of the most sensitive indicators of vascular health. When blood flow improves there, it improves everywhere. In the brain, in the heart, and in every cell of your body. What makes vitamin D so powerful is that it's free for most people. Your skin makes it naturally when exposed to sunlight. Yet modern life has trapped us indoors, in offices, cars, and homes with filtered windows. Even in sunny climates, deficiency is rampant. The reason? Sunscreen blocks the UVB rays that trigger vitamin D synthesis, and even small amounts of pollution in the air reduce your skin's ability to produce it. Add to that a diet lacking in natural sources like fatty fish, egg yolks, and mushrooms, and you have the perfect recipe for deficiency. Doctors now estimate that more than 70% of men worldwide have suboptimal vitamin D levels. That's not a small number, that's a global epidemic. And because vitamin D deficiency develops slowly, its symptoms often go unnoticed until the body begins to falter. Low libido, fatigue, mood swings, and weak performance. But here's the encouraging news, it's one of the easiest deficiencies to fix. Start by getting your levels tested. The ideal range for optimal male health is typically between 50 and 80 ng/ml. If your results are below 30, you're likely deficient. Sun exposure for 15 to 20 minutes a day, especially on your arms and legs, can make a huge difference. Early morning or late afternoon sunlight is best. If sunlight is limited, vitamin D3 supplements, the active form, can safely restore levels. Most adults require around 2,000 to 4,000 IU daily, but this can vary depending on your weight, age, and skin tone. Now, imagine you begin today. You make it a routine. Sunlight in the morning, a nutritious meal with vitamin D-rich foods, and perhaps a supplement if needed. Within days, your body begins to respond. You start to feel more alert. Your muscles feel stronger, your sleep deepens, your mood improves. You notice your body responding faster, more confidently. That's the magic of restoring what nature designed you to have all along. Let's also not forget that vitamin D works synergistically with other nutrients. Magnesium, for example, helps activate vitamin D in the body. Without magnesium, vitamin D can't do its job effectively. Zinc, another critical mineral, supports testosterone and nitric oxide production. So when you bring these nutrients together, vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc, you're creating the ideal biochemical environment for peak performance. Science shows that even short-term supplementation can enhance endothelial function by as much as 30%. That's not a small number. That's a measurable physical improvement in how your blood vessels respond to signals. For men struggling with performance issues, this can mean the difference between frustration and confidence. It's not about forcing the body to perform with chemicals. It's about giving it what it needs to function naturally. There's another layer to this, the psychological impact of deficiency. Low vitamin D has been strongly linked to depression and anxiety, both of which can cripple sexual performance. When you restore vitamin D, serotonin levels rise, mood stabilizes, and stress hormones like cortisol begin to drop. This mental shift plays a huge role in physical performance, because the body and mind are not separate. They are one continuous system. When the mind is calm and confident, the body follows. It's fascinating how one simple nutrient influences so many dimensions of masculinity: strength, drive, focus, and passion. It's as if nature designed vitamin D to be the ignition switch for vitality. Every cell that depends on energy, every vessel that depends on flow, every hormone that depends on balance, all of them respond to this single molecule. And when it's missing, everything begins to slow quietly, almost imperceptibly at first, until one day the signs are undeniable. That's why restoring vitamin D is not just about enhancing performance. It's about restoring the foundation of male health. Strong bones, sharp mind, steady heart, confident energy, they're all connected through the chemistry of circulation and the hormones that vitamin D helps regulate. When men begin to nourish their bodies this way, they often find that their relationships improve too. They feel more connected, more patient, more present. Intimacy becomes less about performance anxiety and more about shared experience. Because when you feel strong in your body, you feel secure in your presence. That's the real reward. Not just physical readiness, but emotional balance. In the bigger picture, this is about prevention as well. Optimal vitamin D levels reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, inflammation, and even certain cancers. The same mechanisms that improve erectile function, better blood flow, lower inflammation, stronger vessels, also protect your heart and brain. So when you take steps to improve your sexual health, you're also investing in longevity. Think about it this way. The body is not separate parts competing for attention. It's one ecosystem. When you restore health in one area, you elevate the whole system. That's what vitamin D does. It nourishes the ecosystem of your body. It doesn't just make one thing better, it makes everything work in harmony again. So when people talk about the one vitamin that makes you hard instantly, the truth is deeper than the phrase suggests. It's not a trick or a shortcut. It's your body finally being able to do what it was designed to do. Respond fully, confidently, instantly, because the biological pathways are clear and strong again. The instant effect isn't artificial stimulation, it's the restoration of your body's natural response once the missing piece is back in place. You don't need to chase complicated treatments or expensive fixes when your body already holds the blueprint for healing. The key is giving it the raw materials it needs. Vitamin D is one of those keys. Simple, powerful, and essential. When you unlock that potential, everything else falls into place. The energy, the drive, the strength, and the passion that define what it means to feel truly alive. Let's go deeper into how this transformation unfolds within the body, because understanding what's happening beneath the surface gives power to every action you take. When vitamin D enters the bloodstream, it begins to interact with special receptors found in almost every organ. from your brain to your heart to your reproductive system. That these receptors act like locks waiting for a key, and vitamin D is that key. Once it binds, a chain reaction begins. Genes that were once dormant become active, and those that control inflammation, repair, and hormone regulation start to switch on. It's not an exaggeration to say that vitamin D reawakens your biology. Inside the blood vessels, vitamin D influences the endothelium, the delicate lining that decides whether your vessels remain relaxed or constricted. When you have enough vitamin D, the endothelium releases nitric oxide freely, allowing your vessels to open up and deliver blood with ease. When you're deficient, those vessels stiffen and the smooth muscle cells lose their flexibility. Over time, this stiffness leads to high blood pressure, poor circulation, and reduced performance in every sense. The beauty of replenishing vitamin D is that it reverses this process. It softens what was rigid, energizes what was tired, and restores what was fading. Most men don't realize how quickly the body responds to natural balance. Within just days of improving vitamin D intake, fatigue begins to fade. The heart pumps more efficiently, blood viscosity improves, and oxygen reaches tissues more effectively. You feel it in your energy, your clarity, your confidence. It's subtle at first, then undeniable. That's because vitamin D doesn't just work on one system, it integrates multiple systems at once. One of the most powerful changes happens inside your brain. Vitamin D helps regulate the production of dopamine, the neurotransmitter of motivation, pleasure, and reward. When dopamine levels rise naturally, you begin to feel more engaged with life. Your focus sharpens, your mood stabilizes, and your desire increases. This psychological effect reinforces the physical benefits. The mind and body start feeding off each other in a positive loop. You feel good, so you act better. You act better, so you feel good. This harmony is what true vitality feels like. Hormones also respond dramatically to this vitamin. Low vitamin D levels are linked with decreased testosterone, the hormone that defines male energy, drive, and endurance. Testosterone doesn't just affect libido. It governs how well you build muscle, how efficiently you burn fat, and how sharp your thinking remains as you age. By supporting the endocrine system, vitamin D helps sustain healthy testosterone levels, creating a stable foundation for strength and performance. Consider how ancient humans lived. They spent hours under the sun each day, moving, hunting, and gathering. Their skin absorbed natural sunlight, and their bodies thrived on that consistent exposure. Modern lifestyles have replaced sunlight with screens and outdoor movement with sitting. We've separated ourselves from the natural source of one of the most essential hormones our bodies know. And in doing so, we've invited a silent epidemic: low vitamin D, low energy, low drive. The connection is not coincidence, it's consequence. When men return to natural light, everything begins to recalibrate. Sunlight hits the skin, cholesterol molecules convert to vitamin D3, and within hours it enters the bloodstream. The body doesn't need to be convinced. It remembers what to do. This process fuels not just physical health, but mental strength. Sunlight has an ancient language that our biology understands. When it touches your skin, your body doesn't just make vitamin D. It signals to your brain that you are alive, awake, and in rhythm with the world. Alongside sunlight, diet plays a vital role. The foods that nourish you most deeply are often those closest to nature. Fatty fish like salmons, sardines, and mackerel are rich in vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids, which further support blood flow and reduce inflammation. Egg yolks contain both vitamin D and cholesterol, the raw material for testosterone production. Mushrooms exposed to sunlight, fortified milk, and even liver contribute valuable amounts. When these foods are part of your daily meals, your body gains the raw materials it needs to stay balanced. But nutrition isn't just about adding one vitamin, it's about creating synergy. For vitamin D to do its work, it relies on other nutrients: magnesium to activate it, vitamin K2 to direct calcium to the right places, and zinc to support hormone synthesis. Magnesium-rich foods like spinach, almonds, and dark chocolate complement vitamin D perfectly. Zinc, found in pumpkin seeds, beef, and shellfish, ensures that the benefits of vitamin D translate into hormonal strength. When you combine these nutrients, you create a biochemical orchestra that plays in perfect harmony. Let's also explore the connection between vitamin D and inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of male performance. It silently damages the lining of blood vessels, reduces nitric oxide availability, and triggers the release of free radicals that stiffen tissues. Vitamin D acts as a natural anti-inflammatory agent. It lowers the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines and boosts antioxidant defenses. When inflammation subsides, blood vessels relax, energy levels rise, and recovery accelerates. The very chemistry that once hindered you begins to heal you. This healing extends beyond the physical. When the body is inflamed, the brain senses it. Fatigue, irritability, and low confidence often stem from this silent internal stress. By reducing inflammation, vitamin D restores mental calm. It's not simply about being able to perform, it's about feeling grounded, strong, and in control again. The transformation doesn't stop there. Vitamin D enhances calcium absorption, which strengthens the bones that support your muscles. Strong bones anchor strong muscles, and together they generate power and stability. This structural balance translates into better posture, improved physical presence, and deeper endurance during every activity. The confidence that comes from a strong, responsive body is something no medication can replicate. Sleep also improves when vitamin D levels rise. Research has shown that adequate vitamin D helps regulate melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep rest. Better sleep means better recovery, higher testosterone levels, and improved mood. Men often notice that once they begin restoring vitamin D, their sleep patterns become more natural, their mornings feel lighter, and their sense of fatigue fades. This is the body's way of saying thank you. And now consider the broader impact. When circulation improves, every organ benefits. The heart pumps more efficiently, the brain receives more oxygen, and even digestion becomes smoother. You're not just fixing one issue, you're restoring a system. The body doesn't compartmentalize health the way we do. It operates as a network. The same improved blood flow that strengthens performance in one area strengthens the entire body. Over time, this creates a new baseline for how you live. Instead of struggling for energy, you begin to move through your day with ease. Instead of fighting fatigue, you wake with purpose. And instead of fearing decline, you trust your body again. That trust, that sense of inner stability, is priceless. It allows you to live with confidence, not just in private moments, but in every aspect of your life. There's a certain dignity that comes with feeling in command of your health. It's not about chasing youth, it's about honoring the body's design. When you feed it sunlight, nourishment, rest, and movement, it rewards you with strength and vitality that feel timeless. Vitamin D is a small piece of that puzzle, but it's a critical one. The foundation that supports the entire structure. The beauty of natural healing lies in its simplicity. There's no need for extremes. Just a few minutes of sunlight each day, a diet rich in whole foods, a bit of physical movement to stimulate circulation, and your body will take care of the rest. The systems that regulate performance and desire are ancient and intelligent. They only need the right conditions to thrive. And when they do, the results speak for themselves. Blood moves like a river again, energy surges through your muscles, your mind feels sharp, and your confidence returns. It's not the effect of a stimulant, it's the reflection of health restored. You realize that vitality isn't something you buy. It's something you build with small, consistent actions that respect how your body works. It's a quiet transformation, not a dramatic one. You might not even notice the exact day it happens. One morning, you'll simply wake up and feel different. Lighter, stronger, more present. You'll move with a sense of purpose you haven't felt in years. That's the day your biology reclaims its rhythm. That's the day your body says, I remember. What makes this journey powerful is that it belongs entirely to you. No prescription, no marketing, no external dependency, just you and your biology working together again. Vitamin D may be a single nutrient, but its influence touches everything that defines life and vitality. It's sunlight captured in molecular form, reminding your body of the strength it already possesses. And perhaps that's the greatest truth of all. The body doesn't need to be forced into performance. It needs to be nourished into balance. When balance is restored, everything follows: power, passion, endurance, and peace. The one vitamin that makes the difference does so not through magic, but through science, by restoring the most natural process of all, the flow of life itself. So in the end, it all comes down to this. Your body was never broken. It was only waiting to be reawakened. The strength, the energy, the confidence, the vitality you thought you lost. It's still there, buried beneath layers of neglect, a stress and deficiency. And sometimes all it takes is giving your body what has been silently craving: light, nourishment, and care. That single nutrient, That humble dose of vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It's a reminder of how powerful your biology truly is. It shows that healing doesn't always come from something new. Sometimes it comes from restoring what's been missing all along. The moment you reconnect with the natural rhythm of your body, you rediscover the man you were always meant to be: strong, focused, vibrant, and fully alive. Your blood, your heart, your desire, they all follow one truth. When you give your body the right environment, it will always choose life, it will always choose strength, it will always choose you.